Hi everybody, so regular viewers to the channel will know that I'm doing a bit of a transition on some aspects to Linux systems. There's a good reason for that. Linux is a very stable system that will make old machinery do an awful lot more, and of course that brings down the cost. I'm currently involved in a £100 computer doing some amazing things with it based on Linux, but of course that means transitioning my 3D printers to a Linux operating system. One of the issues with Linux is it can be sometimes difficult to find the software that will do that. Now, I've already gone through how to actually do that with the Elegoo printers, but of course I've got this, which is a Qidi XMax 3 sent to me by Qidi for review, and it's a beast of a machine. So of course I want this run on a Linux system as part of that transition. Now this machine actually comes with a Prusa slicer. People have their various likes and dislikes about these things as always, and Prusa is used by a lot of people and is a very good slicer, but I find it a little overblown. For me, Cura is the slicer that I use because it's a good basic slicer with a very low learning curve and does everything I want it to do, so why not? Now I've already discovered when we put the Elegoos onto Linux that Cura comes with the Linux distributions, and so it's just a matter of getting your package manager to upload Cura onto Linux and you'll have a Linux based slicer, because what we then need to do is get the machine profiles into Cura so that Cura can output in a way that this machine can understand. Now luckily enough, Qidi are quite a good company who assist with that. All we actually have to do is put Qidi Linux in the search bar and Qidi Tech will come up. Click on the software and firmware and it'll take you to Qidi's base. What we want is other slicer profiles. Click on that and you will see that you've got Cura right there. So click on that and it'll take you to a Google Drive where you can download the Cura folder from the Google Drive. Once you've downloaded it, of course, it'll be in your downloads folder. Go to the downloads folder, double click it and extract it. And this is the folder you'll get. It'll contain a file called Qidi, and if you double click that, you'll get extra files. We'll come to that later. And then there's qidi.zip. If you click on that and again extract it, it'll extract to the folder that you mentioned, and you'll see you get this, which is a little MP4 telling you exactly what to do. There's also a PDF that you can read, but it's next to useless. This is brilliant. Okay, so let's go back to that file. We hit the Qidi and there's those folders I was talking about. Now if we start Cura, we can start Cura by going to our graphics, Ultimate Cura. And we're at the Cura front end. Now if we look for the printer, add a printer, non-network printer, we'll see that there's no Qidi option down in the queues. But if we go to Help, Show Configuration folder, it'll show us the configuration folder right there. What we need to do is go back to this folder, select everything, drag it across and just let it drop, replace. And there we go. This is also made available by Prusa. So if you go to Printables and to this page here, it'll give you a downloadable file right there that is in fact exactly the same thing. So you use this XMax 3 definitions and do exactly the same thing. And if you follow what they say, it's exactly the same process. When you've done that, you restart your Cura. And this time when you go to add printer, add network printer, scroll down, you'll find magically a Qidi file has arrived. So you can click on that, and there is my XMax 3, click on that, add it, and it will come up with these machine settings. These machine settings are, I think, correct, but we're going to try a print at the moment, so we're not going to do anything with that. And next, and there we go, there is our XMax 3 in Cura on Linux. Of course, what we want to do now is print something, so let's print something. We're going to print this. This is part of a setup that I want for a turbo turbine that I've been working on, so I'm going to print that. So of course it didn't work first time, but then it never does it? So I had to add this to the G code in the machine settings, and I'll put that in the description should anyone want to use this. But a word of warning, this is all settings for my machine and on my Linux computer, so you may still have to play around with it a little bit. Even so, we got it to print off. Now, one of the good things about the Qidi, obviously, is it's big, and what that means is you can print big stuff. And I'm working at the moment on this, which is a water-driven motor. It's a turbo turbine, actually, and that's the turbine itself. And then we've got the housing that are printed on the Qidi, and then we've got the housing cap that's just printed off that'll go on there and make my motor. Now, later I'll do another video on putting this together, and I'll actually put the STL files up should anybody want them. But of course, if you haven't got a big printer, you're going to need to section it for printing. But if you section it in half or quarter, you can print it on a smaller machine. However, I've printed this on the Qidi here because it's a nice volume and we've got it working on the Linux. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.